Good morning. Happy 4th of July, or technically 5th of July, but happy 250th birthday to this country. And I am happy that you all are here today. Welcome to UU Miami. Whether you're here in the sanctuary or joining us online, we are glad you're with us. I am Reverend Dr. Harold Marrero, joined this morning by our pianist, Dr. Joseph Taeda, co-leader Christine Gregory, our RU minister, Jessica Lamb, and our media minister, Derek Mustelier. Last night, the sky over this country filled with light for the 250th time. This morning, we gather in a quieter light. Today, we begin #BeingUU, a summer of walking our principles one at a time, following them to the center of our faith, where love lives there. We start with the first one, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. 250 years ago, our spiritual ancestors helped write the idea into the birth certificate of a nation. This morning, we say it plainly, with no exceptions written in invisible ink, there is a chair here with your name on it. Welcome home.
As we begin, we light our chalice. This morning, on the first Sunday of our BeingUU series, and on the first morning of our nation's 251st year, we light it for the truth both our faith and our country were founded to protect. The worth and dignity every person is born carrying. Please rise and body your spirit for the lighting of the chalice. We light this chalice for a worth that no law can give and no government can take away. For the child born this morning, already counting. For the elder whose hands build more than anyone ever thanked them for. For the stranger at the border, the neighbor in the courtroom, the seeker walking through our doors for the very first time. We light this flame for everyone this country promised and has not yet fully kept. For all who are still waiting for the words to come true. We light this flame for the truth we will spend this summer exploring. Every person, no exceptions. We kindle this light within and between us. Our worth arrived with our breath. No power gave it. No power can take it. Every person, no exceptions. Salah.
Please remain standing in body or in spirit and join me in a unison affirmation, first in English and then in Spanish. The words will be projected on the screen. Love is the spirit of this faith, and service is his prayer. In love, we agree to dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, and to help one another. Y ahora en español. El amor es el espíritu de nuestra fe, y el servicio es su oración. En amor acordamos vivir unidos en paz, buscar el conocimiento en libertad y ayudarnos el uno al otro.
Our opening hymn began as a poem by James Weldon Johnson in 1900, written for Black school children in Jacksonville in response to a state government with the same flair as our current one that told them their worth was smaller than their neighbors. The song refused that lie. It sang out loud a people's full dignity in a country that had left them out of its founding promise. It became known as the Black National Anthem, and there is hope that one day it might become our nation's national anthem as well. This is where our summer begins. Our first principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person, sung here long before we named it. So rise as you are able, in body or in spirit, and let us sing a song of dignity that will not be talked out of itself.
let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. They sing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat have on our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past, still now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadow beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Good morning, friends, and welcome to UU Miami. We are part of the Unitarian Universalist Association, grounded in pluralism, humanism, and care for one another and for the earth. We gather around shared values, the worth and dignity of every person, justice, compassion, and belonging. We honor the native peoples of South Florida, past, present, and future, and acknowledge that we live and worship on ancestral homelands. We offer respect and gratitude to the Tequesta, Seminole, Taino, and Miccosukee peoples, and we commit ourselves to dismantling the harmful legacies of colonialism and oppression. If you are new, look for someone wearing a very fashionable yellow or orange lanyard. Whoever you are, your worth arrived with you this morning. Welcome home. Before we continue, we turn to the life of our community. Our announcements are printed in the back of your bulletin. So this morning, we lift up just a few. Join us after the service as we host our first Sunday of the month potluck. This is a wonderful opportunity for togetherness and connections. Please bring a dish to share as part of the meal. And if you didn't bring a dish, that's fine, just bring yourself. Vegetarian and vegan options are welcome. We are also a nut-free campus. All are welcome. Next slide. Fantastic. All are welcome to join our social justice community meeting. Come share your voice and your ideas. UU Miami social justice community is currently working on immigration concerns, voices for reproductive rights, the tragedy in Israel, Palestine, and Gaza, and climate justice. Through our Share the Plate initiative, we support the Women's Emergency Network, Safe School South Florida, PACT, and Chainless Change. By supporting local organizations, our hope is to uplift and educate our congregation while also taking action for all of Miami. There are moments when the noise of the world settles into our bodies without us realizing it. An hour of stillness can become a quiet act of return, a way of remembering yourself beneath the pressure, beneath the pace. UU Miami invites you to join us for an evening of meditation every Wednesday from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. in the Emerson Room. This is a simple, welcoming space to pause, breathe, and gently come back into alignment with yourself. Whether you have an established practice or stepping into meditation for the first time, you are invited just as you are. No expectations, no performance, just presence, shared in community. And last but not least, through the week, find us on social media. We are at UUC Miami on every platform, where we share the moments between Sundays and the reminder that you belong to something larger than any 1 hour. And whenever you are ready to go deeper, our home online is uumiami.org, with every way to give, to serve, and to get involved. Wherever you are on your journey, there is a next step here for you. We are so glad you are with us.
And as you've noticed, we have new bulletins. So we did that so that the words will always be on there in case for those that still like to have something in hand. And the announcements are in the back. So just take it with you. You can always reference it when you're at home, or you can leave it in the car so you can see really quick what's happening here at UU Miami. And we want to thank Jairo for putting that together. So thank you, Jairo, for all that hard work. And it's colorful and it looks pretty good. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. Friends, at UU Miami, we share a moment of connection, a time to honor the worth and dignity of everyone here today. I invite you to greet those around you in whatever way feels right. If you prefer to remain seated or in a quiet presence, that is welcome too. Let us take a moment to connect with one another in the spirit of community. Friends, may the connections we make here carry into the world. Peace and long life. Selah. You may be seated.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Joseph. I love how music can just stir up emotions, and that one always makes me feel patriotic. If you guys have not heard Ray Charles sing that, I encourage you to go on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you listen to music and listen to his version. It's great. So hi, I'm Jessica Lamb, your RE Director of Youth. Now's our time of Story of All Ages, so I do want to invite some of our youth up to the stage to sit here with me here on the steps. Those of you who are young and young at heart, today's story is called The Little Bell That Found Its Voice. Hi, Bridget. Hi, Abby. Come on up. And we got Lex, who's going to make his way up here, too. Lex is walking and running, and it's so much fun. All right, there he comes. He's running to the front. Amazing. Okay, so the little bell that found its voice. Long ago, in a small village, there was a tiny brass bell that hung in the back corner of an old bell tower. There he is. And each morning, the great bells rang across the valley. Their voices were deep and powerful. People stopped what they were doing whenever they heard them. The little bell wished it could sound just like them. So it tried to ring louder. It strained, it shook, it even tried to copy the rhythm of the biggest bell. But no matter what it did, ding, its sound was still very small. The little bell became very embarrassed. He was so embarrassed that he just hid himself away. And there he went. And maybe he thought, I'm not enough. So it just stopped ringing altogether. Days passed, weeks passed, maybe even years, and no one seemed to notice the little bell just hiding in the back of the steeple. Except one day, a child looked around and gently tugged the bell. And again, it sounds like sunshine, the child whispered. Soon, other children came to hear the bell. Travelers listened, birds perched nearby. Even the great bells seemed to wait for its cheerful little note. Yeah, let it hear it ring. Let it ring. Yes. It had spent so much time trying to become someone else that it had forgotten the gift that it already carried. Its voice had never been too small. It had simply been its own voice. From that day on, that little bell rang with joy. Yes. And every time it rang, it reminded everyone who heard it that the world doesn't need us to sound exactly alike. It needs each of us to bring the unique voice that only one can offer. So sometimes the greatest freedom is reclaiming the beautiful self that was always there all along. So folks, yesterday we celebrated the 250th anniversary of our nation's independence and the enduring promise of the freedoms of which our country was founded. This past Friday, many of us also took part in the We the People March. Did anybody here go to the We the People March? Here, there was a couple of us that came here. Thank you for coming. It was pretty amazing just to see people from all parts of the community come together to march, each bringing their own voice and story. Together, those unique voices became a powerful reminder that our communities are always strongest when everyone is included. So, to our kids up here, I want to remind you, just like that little bell, you don't have to be like anyone else to matter. Your voice is important, your ideas matter, and your kindness matters. As you grow, may you always have the courage to be yourself, because the world needs the unique person that only you can be. And to the grown-ups here today, reclaiming ourselves doesn't end when we become adults. It's a lifelong journey of rediscovering who we are, finding the courage to live authentically, and making room for others to do the same. May we all continue to use our unique voices to build a world where everyone is welcomed and free to be themselves. So, thank you for today's story time, and it's time to sing the children out. So come on up, CJ, and let's give them a little archway to make our way over to the room. Thank you.
May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
We've now come to the part of our service where we do our joys and concerns. So if you have a joy and concern, please come up, make a line over here, and remember to try to keep it short. And say your name, because this is being live streamed. And for those live streams, if you want to share your joys and concerns, you can also do it on the chat. Come on, Bob.
I'm Bob Jacober and CJ Weber. Okay.
Okay, let's do it. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good in brotherhood
and sisterhood.
from sea to shining sea.
All right. I feel like we need a little harmonica in the beginning, like beep.
That's why we need a choir again. Why we need a what? Oh, gotcha. Hey, everybody, I'm Arthur. Just a quick joy. I'm setting up some time to see all my family, which is really rare because we're like across 3 different continents, so the time to get us all together is very rare. So I'm just really happy to be seeing my brothers and their significant others and all the kids in one place. So, yeah, just happy. Thank you.
That's great.
Let's get into the camera. My name is Judith Echeverria, and I'm so grateful to Harold for hosting us at the We the People March, because 4th of July is really not a great holiday for me. I'm a child of immigrants, and so growing up in an environment where immigration and immigrants, and especially my family's Colombian, which is a minority in, in Miami, especially when we came. So I am so glad, because it was representative of the real people that bring together this country. So we had a representation from LGBTQ, we had immigration, Florida Immigration Coalition was there. We had 70, I think, 70 organizations representing many, many different parts of America that I'm proud of. So thank you, Harold.
Thank you. And in fact, that's my joy today, is really the many people from this congregation that came to represent UU Miami and our values at the march. UU Miami was one of the organizations out of that 70. And we held this big banner that was a representation of the 2 people, the Skywalkers, that posted that message on top of the Empire State Building. We got their message, put it in a big banner, and walked alongside with that, because truly when love overcomes the love of power, we will know peace. So that is a great quote. Thought, you know what, let's adopt it, let's bring it into the march. And I am so happy that the bus that left from here had a whole lot of people. We took some youth from our Hero Academy. We took, members from the Social Justice Committee. And I think my favorite scene was seeing Judith lay on the grass. It looked like something out of San Francisco. It was just very, very, very cool. So thank you all that came. And my joy is that it makes me a proud, minister of this congregation to see how active we all are. And for those that couldn't make it, we'll have many more of these. So these buses will start coming in, picking you guys up, taking you to a bunch of places. So thank you, everybody. Friends, let us settle down into this hour. Let your feet find the floor. Let your hands rest where they are. If it is comfortable, close your eyes or soften your gaze downward. Now find your breath. You do not have to earn this breath. It arrived without an application, without a fee, without anyone's permission. It has been arriving, faithful as morning, since the hour you were born. Let us sit inside the simple fact. Something else arrived with that first breath, a worth that no one handed you, that no one voted for it, no one signed for it. It came with you into the world and has survived every mistake, every rejection, every season you doubted it was there. And still, almost everyone in this room remembers a kitchen, a table set for company, and a door that closed with you on the wrong side of it. A place where your worth was true and no one acted like it. Hold that memory gently. Because belonging is not decoration. It is a hunger, as basic as the breath you're writing right now. And in this room, it has already been answered. Feel it. The same air moving through every body here, the visitor and the member, the certain and the unsure, the one who was sent away and the one who is finally home. One web of breathing older than any border, wider than any wall. Once the circle was drawn too small, breath has been redrawing it ever since. When you are ready, let your eyes open, return to this hour. Tomorrow is already breathing here. There's a place at the table with your name on it. The worth comes with you. It always does.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí y al corazón cántale tu compasión. Sopla al volar, sube en la mar, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Abrázame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí.
Our first reading is I Too, written by Langston Hughes in 1926. At the height of the Harlem Renaissance, Hughes wrote it as an answer to Walt Whitman, who had heard America singing. Hughes replied that he sings America too, from the kitchen where he was sent when company came. It is our first principle in 18 lines, a worth so certain it can wait for a country to catch up. I Too, by Langston Hughes. I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen. When company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody'll dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America. May tomorrow find us at the table together. May we see at last how beautiful we are. Our second reading comes from Pete Buttigieg, a Navy veteran, the former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, and a former United States Secretary of Transportation. In his 2020 book, Trust, America's Best Chance, he argues that trust is the invisible infrastructure of a democracy and that it cannot be rebuilt without belonging. In this passage, he looks honestly at the narrow circle the founders drew and at the longer American work of widening it. Part of the reason the American founders were prepared to place such radical trust in the people was that their definition of people, for the purposes of citizenship and political empowerment, was a very narrow group that included only other white, property-owning men such as themselves. The differences between a Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton in things like philosophy, profession, or family background were considerable, but those differences played out in a deeper context of sameness. In other words, with all that they unthinkingly had in common, it was comparatively easy for them to build a sense of belonging. And this, in turn, helped fortify for them the possibility of building trust. America has been at its best when widening that circle of belonging politically and also socially. That process remains glaringly unfinished, but the history textbooks and political speeches of our country demonstrate the overall pride America takes in a track record of hard-fought advances in this direction, and our hopes for the future rest in the belief that it will continue. Yet as the opportunities for full citizenship have expanded through time to include more and more people, the sense of belonging has become less automatic, less assured than it would be among a group that more or less looks and thinks the same. A white, middle-aged business person who sincerely believes that he does not see color, and a black student who is reminded countless times daily of her racialized existence by a society that sometimes seems to see little else about her, may vote at the same precinct location. But they are barely inhabiting the same social reality. Addressing this question of how to create or enhance a sense of belonging within as diverse a group as the American electorate, or even more broadly, the American people, is central to our chances of building greater trust in our country. Belonging is a basic human need. Socially, it carries the power to bind us together and motivate us to depend on one another. People who are assured by a sense of belonging are better able to trust one another implicitly. It furnishes a kind of down payment on the process of trust building. May we widen the circle the founders drew too small. May belonging be the down payment we make on one another. May it be so. Selah.
May the words of our mouth and the meditation of our hearts be a seed for the worth no power can give and no power can take away. So say we all. Amen. Yesterday, this nation turned 250 years old, and a birthday for a nation founded on a promise is never only a party, it is also an audit. Here's what I love most about the American story. When the country fell short of its own existence, of its own sentence, its people did not throw the sentence away. They rewrote it. The sentence of we the people. Douglas held it up like a mirror. King came to collect on the promissory note. And you heard the lineage again this morning. A poet sent to eat at the kitchen table, whose worth was so certain it could afford to wait for the table. A writer of our own century, who showed us that belonging came cheap inside the founder's small circle, and that the holier work is belonging across real differences. That is the work that we are naming this morning, our first UU principle. The inherent worth and dignity of every person. We say so often that it can go smooth in the hand, like a coin rubbed faceless, so hold it up to the light. Inherent, it arrived with you. The nurse who waited on you on your first morning was holding a person of immeasurable worth. And no scale can show it. Worth. The world will keep handing you a price tag. This principle keeps taking it off. Dignity. Worth made visible in how you treated, in how you are treated. At the border, in the waiting room, at the table, and the two hardest words, every person. The stranger, the prisoner, the neighbor whose flag makes your jaw tighten. Here, the principle stops being pretty and starts being expensive. When we have to actually live it through with those who we feel that we have nothing in common with, that is when that principle becomes expensive, because we have to live by it if we are to claim it as our own. Every person, or nothing at all, that is our motto this morning. Every person, or nothing at all. So this morning, I'm going to preach over our first principle the way our spiritual ancestors preached theirs, by declaring it. What follows is a new declaration of interdependence, our first principle in a 21st century voice for a nation whose work of becoming is still not done. What a privilege to live inside an unfinished country and still be able to say how we would like for it to be seen. 250 years ago, a people risked everything against the greatest empire on earth to set on their own destiny. Some were Unitarians, some were Universalists. Today we join them as Unitarian Universalist disciples of love. You will hear the principle arrive early, almost word for word. You will hear it underneath every grievance, worth denied, dignity refused, and you will hear it as it is most expensive, in the turn toward the very people who oppose it. Near the end, I will invite you to rise in body and spirit, because the declaration is never merely heard, it is joined. So hear now this declaration of interdependence. There are times in history when people must break away from a system that is hurting them. When that time comes, they owe the world an honest explanation. And this is mine. We hold this truth to be self-evident, that all people are created equal. Every person is born with worth and dignity. No law can give it, and no government can take it away. Every person has the right to live, to be free, to seek happiness, and to become who they are truly are, who they were always meant to be. And no one becomes who they are alone. We are woven together in one web of life, and the dignity of each depends on the care of all. Governments exist to protect these rights. Their power comes from the consent of the people, and that means all of the people, no matter where they were born, what they look like, what they believe, or whom they love. When any government or any power working inside a government destroys these rights, the people have the right to change it and to build something better. We know that a country should not be given up for a small reason. But when abuse after abuse points in the same direction, when the goal is clearly to place one race, one religion, and one unchecked will above everyone else, then it becomes our duty to stand up and say no. That time has come. The record of the present order is a record of repeated harm, all aimed at making white nationalism our inheritance, Christian nationalism our law, and fear a way of life. Here are the facts. We speak them in our own voice because we saw them with our own eyes. We have watched families torn apart at our borders and in our neighborhoods, children pulled from their parents' arms and tearing the call to one another. We have watched our immigrant neighbors who came here with our own ancestors, like our own ancestors, taken from our courthouses and clinics, from schoolyards and churches, and locked away without a lawyer, without a hearing, and without mercy. While the sea and the desert became graveyards for people who believed in us, who believed in our promise. We have watched voting maps redrawn in secret until the black vote is shrunk to a whisper, and polling places closed in every neighborhood that bled for the right of that vote. We have watched our transgender siblings stripped of their health care, their documents, their safety, and their names. We have watched children of God pushed into hiding and told their lives are a lie, when we know their becoming is holy. We have watched queer families, lawfully married and faithfully kept, treated like bargaining chips, their dignity put up to a vote again and again. We have watched truth itself come under attack, lies repeated until they sound like facts, science silenced, history rewritten, reporters threatened, and the whole people trained to doubt their own eyes. We have watched the highest office in the land used as a weapon of revenge instead of a place of service, cords defied, guardrails pulled loose, and soldiers sent into our own streets against our own people, as if our neighborhoods were the enemy. We have watched people take a faith based on love and liberation and use it to tear down the wall between church and state, to place one religion above every conscience, to call that takeover freedom. We have watched and we confess our own part. We hope too long that decency would defend itself. We mistook our comfort for peace. We learned that silence is also a form of consent. We remember that the original Declaration was written by men who enslaved other human beings and insulted the first peoples of this land. We take up its promise anyway, determined to finish what its authors could not. Every harm on this list is the same harm wearing different clothes. The tearing of the web that holds our people together, and every tear weakens us all, and the wounded and the watching alike. At every stage, we ask for change the right way. We voted, we marched, we testified, we went to court, we organized, we prayed. our requests were answered only with more harm. A system like this is unfit to rule a free people. We have also reached out to our fellow Americans who support this system. We have reminded them that their grandmothers were once strangers here too, that their scriptures also command welcome, that the freedom they want for themselves dies the moment it is denied to someone else. Many have refused to listen. Even so, we will not treat them as enemies. Every person is larger than the worst idea that has captured them, and we keep a chair at the table for every neighbor who turns towards home. Now please rise in body and spirit. So now we, the people who still believe in what America can be, gathered in this place, in other congregations, in classrooms, in union halls, in living rooms, in front porches, and in the streets, declare with clear conscience and full hearts, we are free of all loyalty of white nationalism in every form it takes, whether hooded or suited, shouted or whispered. We cut every political and spiritual ties to Christian nationalism, which borrows the language of faith to bless domination. We call it for what it is, idolatry. We declare our independence from cruelty as policy, from fear from government, from lies as a common language, and from any false unity that has brought the erasure of many. And deeper than every separation, we declare our interdependence. We belong to one another. The stranger's child is our child. The neighbor's grief is our grief. No vote is safe while any vote is stolen. No family is whole while any family is torn apart. No conscience is free while any conscience is forced. Whatever future we build together, and we do not build it at all. And as a free people bound to one another, we claim our full power to welcome the stranger, to guard the vote, to protect the child, to tell the truth, to heal what is wounded, to keep church and state free from one another's throne, and to do everything a people devoted to one another has the right to do. We are staying. We are this country, and we are calling it home to itself. A nation, like a soul, is never finished. It can face the full truth of what it has done and still choose to repair it. Confession here is willing to heal together. Out of many, we are one, or we are nothing at all. To the generations who will inherit what we do now, we say, we saw, we spoke, and we did not turn away. In support of this declaration, trusting in the love that will not let us go, we pledge to each other our lives, our labor, and our sacred honor. You may be seated. Yeah. 250 years from now, someone will stand where we are standing. They will want to know what we did when a king came back to the gate. Tell them what happened in the sanctuary in Miami on the first morning of this nation's 251st year. To them, we rose. We will tell them that we looked the old lie in the eye, the lie that some people count more than others, and we refuse to bow. We will tell them that we belong to one another, and we knew that. The future is already listening to us. So let it hear us today. The poet's tomorrow is here. Every person, no exceptions. We still believe in what America can be. and we are staying. So say we all. Amen.
Can you raise your hand if that sermon just gave you goosebumps? Thank you so much. Now, our offering. This morning, as we open our summer series, our offering becomes one of the ways we live our first principle. What we give keeps this a place where every person's worth is spoken out loud, where the stranger finds welcome, the child finds wonder, the doubter finds room, and the search for truth stays free. A free faith is kept alive by the people who love it. If you are online, you may give using the QR code on our screen. If you are in the sanctuary, you are invited to place your offering in the basket. Thank you for giving as you are able.
Friends, we extinguish this flame and we carry this light into a country still learning its own promise. We go out to see the worth the world overlooks and to say it out loud, the way it was said to us this morning. 250 years in, the words are still waiting on us. The flame leaves this room, the light does not leave the world. And together we say, the flame is gone, the light goes with it. We saw, we spoke, we did not turn away. We are staying. Every person, no exceptions. Selah. You may know, for a closing song, you may know the song. You may know, oh, sorry, you're gonna do it. Oh, okay. You may know Woody Guthrie wrote it in 1940 out of a frustration with Golden Anthem on the radio that blessed America and left out the people standing in the relief lines. He wrote sharper verses too about private property, sign and hungry people wondering if this land was made for them. It was always a claim. The country belongs to all of its people, or it belongs to none at all. This is our first principle walking out the door. Every person, no exceptions. So please rise as you're able, in body or in spirit, and let us sing this land back into a home wide enough for everybody. And remember, there is room for everyone who is named.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. I roamed and rambled, and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts. And all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. When the sun comes shining, then I was strolling, and the wheat fields waving, and the dust clouds rolling. The voice was chanting as the fog was lifting. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. When the sun comes shining, then I was strolling, and the wheat fields waving, and the dust clouds rolling. The voice come a-chanting, and the fog was lifting. This land was made for you and me.
Friends, go now into a country still becoming. Carry a worth no power gave you and no power can take away. Where you find a door closed, be the hand that opens it. Where you find a circle drawn too small, be the one who widens it. Where you find a silence shaped like someone's missing, be the voice that calls them home. The future is listening. Let this week be your answer. Every person, no exceptions, go in peace and go on staying. So say we all. Amen.